It is time for us to bring in Dr. Judy Wurtman. Judy, of course, is the co-author of the Serotonin Powered Diet, serotoninpowereddiet.com. Also, Simon Loses His Tummy, and Judy is with us once again this morning. Good morning, Dr. Wurtman.
Good morning. Good morning to both of you. And happy to be talking to you from the warmth of Florida now that it's getting in the 30s in New England.
So now, now you can rub it in. A few weeks ago, you weren't so,
should come down and visit us.
You weren't so interested. A few weeks ago, it was unpleasantly humid. Now it's
that's right. Now it's okay.
Yeah.
Now it's tolerable. You only sweat a little bit during the day.
Right.
Anyway, Jill, I must say that the topic I sent you today, talking about what may be a new eating disorder called orthorexia, it was totally new to me, although it's apparently something that has been known, to my great embarrassment, because I never heard about it, since 1977. Everyone's heard of anorexia, which means, which defines people, mainly women, who refuse to eat and lose so much weight that they really are, in many cases, at risk of dying from the wasting of their bodies. But orthorexia, which means apparently correct diet, is a name that was proposed in 1977 by somebody, a physician named Wurtman, who was writing in a yoga journal. Well, I guess I can be excused for not having picked this up. And it largely went unnoticed, but these days, I think we may be able to identify people with this particular possible eating disorder all around us. And I know Thanksgiving is coming up in a few weeks, and it could be that some people with orthorexia might actually be at our Thanksgiving dinner tables, because these are people who are verging on, or actually are indeed compulsive about not eating foods that they think are going to harm them, and eating only foods that have been proven without a doubt to generate good health, to prevent them from developing diseases like diabetes or even cognitive disabilities or the weakening of their muscles. But they have been convinced that they have to eat X and not Y. They have to eat protein and not gluten. They have to eat fat and not carbohydrates. They have to eat a certain kind of vegetables and not other vegetables, or certainly no sugar, in order to live, in order to live a long and healthy life. And there's no treatment for it, supposedly, because it hasn't been officially recognized as an eating disorder, and people have not done enough research to treat it, but it is being treated as sort of a compulsive disorder. And I think this may explain, in large part, what we see sometimes on the Internet or tweets, or even I find in responses to blogs that I publish, people sort of screaming through their words that, I'm obviously destroying their lives by saying, well, you could have a little bit of sugar every once in a while, or saying that carbohydrate is good for you, because what these people see is that recommendations to eat foods which are not on their healthy list really are akin to telling people to eat poison.
Yeah, that's a little alarming.
And I think it's just getting worse.
Right, and again, it's just,
I know. It's like, oh my gosh, here we go through this again. But I get these blogs, but I'm fortunately, I guess, on the milder end of receiving nasty blogs about this, saying, how can you say that if you eat a bit of sugar, your brain is not going to rot? Or how can you say the carbohydrates is good for you? Or how can you, tell people to eat peanuts or something? And the problem is, Jill, that the information upon which these absolute certainties are based on the part of the people who are telling us these are really usually misinformation, or the kind of information that may be true today but won't be true tomorrow. It's like, oh, everybody should have vitamin E, and there was a great big study showing that vitamin E really had no impact on one's health or cognition or longevity. Or, everyone should eat, kale. Well, is kale really going to, make sure that our bones don't crack because we don't get enough calcium? Kale is high in calcium, but it's not the best source of calcium. But the problem is that there are all this information that comes out through health surveys. Oh, we're going to look at how 10 million people have eaten over the last 45 years, and we're going to find that the people who ate X and not Y are still with us. And so, therefore, it means that you obviously shouldn't be eating the foods that they also stopped eating, because otherwise you may be dead. And I have a neighbor who believes in this. He used to be a normal-sized guy, very athletic, and lived a very active life. And he was convinced several years ago, reading some kind of research based on animals, on rats, that if you followed a semi-starvation diet, meaning you ate really fewer calories than your body needed, that you would live a very, very long time. Maybe forever, although I think this study didn't really prove that, because the rats ultimately died. And so he lost a great deal of weight. He looks like a walking skeleton. And when you say, and he doesn't sleep very well because he's eliminated so many foods, especially carbohydrates, and he has insomnia. And when you say to him, how can you eat this way? No, I have to eat this way, because if I don't, I may die. Does this guy have a problem?
Am I allowed to say yes?
And he's doing these things to his health.
I know.
And it's change it.
And it's a lack of education. It is a lack of good information, and it's a bunch of people who, with all due respect, don't have as much context as they should. And it's basically the same gene, in quotes, that allows wackadoo diets to thrive.
Exactly. I think of what is the actress Paltrow, who has all these funny kinds of she was the one who really put the cleanse diet on the map. Oh, you have to cleanse yourself because you have all these toxins in your body that you can't get rid of unless you really fast. Well, that's a bunch of nonsense. That's why you have a liver and kidneys to clean all these toxins out of your body. And okay, if you have kidney disease, you might not be able to do it. That's why you go on dialysis. We're not talking about those people. We're just talking about normal people. And, one of the problems, Jill, is that nobody studies the body. I don't know when people study physiology, so they know what happens during normal digestion and normal processing of nutrients and how the body takes nutrients like iron from your food and turns into red blood cells. Nobody learns this anymore, and so they read what I call science fiction with the internet, and they believe it. And you can no more talk them out of it than you can say to somebody, you can touch that doorknob, even though it has germs, you're not going to kill you. Oh, no, I can't touch that doorknob, I'm going to die. And this is the same attitude. I can't eat that food, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
The problem is that it filters down to the rest of us, and so you plan your Thanksgiving dinner and think, oh, well, I better set a special plate for this person at the end of the table with only the foods that a person can eat, because being in contact with everyone else, eating the normal Thanksgiving foods is going to become frantic because his compulsion will take over. And people have to do something about it. And I don't think that therapists are really in any position to do this, because nobody really, again, knows how to handle it. Orthorexia, it's going to be the new buzzword, I guess, among eating disordered people.
Unbelievable. Well, we're going to have to work on this one.
Yet another one on our list, Jill, right?
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to get right on it. Thank you very much, Dr. Judy Wurtman, Food for Mood.
And, of course, you can hear Judy every Thursday morning right here on Robin Hood Radio.